Well, firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the custodians, the elders from the Wanjuk clan, both past and present. I'm here today. I was got in contact by the people organising this TEDx, and they came up with me with a big question: why? Why? Whatever. Why? What do you feel is the most significant thing in your life? And the thing that first came to mind was why education? Why is education so important? Why, through the work I do, all the work I do is about promoting education in the communities up north that are disadvantaged through their position. So I kind of asked the question, all right, that a mentor told me, all right, Lockie, if you want to decide to go down a path about, talking about education, go down a path about that is worthwhile. Ask yourself why until you can't ask yourself why no longer. So I asked these myself, and I went, all right, so why education? Why education? To pass knowledge, to evolve. All right, why do we need to evolve? We evolve to develop as a species. Why do we need to develop as a species? It's in our nature. So after coming up with this conclusion that it's in our nature to evolve through education, passing knowledge from one to another, I thought to myself, all right, education would be sweet because there's so many things that branch off education. Then I asked myself, so education is only truly absorbed through when you have mutual respect from one person to another. So I don't know, from my personal experiences, when I was a kid, 4 years ago, when I was at school, the kids who I was, the teachers who I actually listened to were the people who had passion with the work that they were doing. They were passionate about the rats being dissected, about the spiders. I'm sure the people who've been talking about, who've just been discovered 7 spiders being in year 12, they wouldn't have discovered these spiders if they didn't have a genuine want to learn to do that. So then they came up with, all right, knowledge is only truly absorbed when mutual respect is shown. So that's why I've got to the state where I am now, where today I want to convey to you about how important respect is, to be passed on, to be shown to everyone. I've got it to the side now. So I've got a bit of a video. It's a bit of a heavy topic. I thought we'd just get this out of the road first, so then we can move into the lighter subjects. But I thought we'd just get this out of the road now. Yeah.
Respect is important, but the sad thing is there is so little respect left in the world that if you look up the word behind me in the dictionary, you'll find it's been taken out. So if this show will teach you anything, it should teach you how to respect everyone. Animals, children, bitches, spasmos, leaders, ladies, goombas. So, to all you lot watching this, but mainly to the normal people, respect. What's that?
I thought we'd put a bit of a positive spin, because respect, what I'm going to talk about now, is a pretty heavy subject. It's all about, I feel, it's the way how we can, it's global reconciliation, it's about respecting each other. So I've kind of decided the best way to approach respect is kind of thinking about how we've evolved throughout as Homo sapiens over time. We came... next slide. Alright, well, the next slide is all about the chronologically where we've come from. 200,000 years ago we had the nomadic lifestyle. So the characteristic of the nomadic lifestyle is the hunter-gatherers. They went out and they only got what they actually needed to provide food, water and shelter for their family. We then moved to the Australian Aboriginals, where 40,000 years ago, we know for a fact that the Australian Aboriginals were living on the land we are on today. And then we got the Agrarian Revolution, which is also known as the Agricultural Revolution. At the Agricultural Revolution, this is when we started to grow plants and to domesticate animals. And that gave us the ability to actually have large populations in a small area. from having the agricultural revolution and having large populations in small areas, decided it became we needed people to be able to govern society, and therefore we started institutions such as governments and religion. And governments and religion were started up to be able to control society, and they predominantly did this through fear. And then we had the corporations started up about 200 years ago, which is also known as the Industrial Revolution, and then we got the Technical Revolution about 50 years ago. With the next slide. So about 200 years ago, and then I want to talk about predominantly the Indigenous people who 40,000 years ago, up until 1788, when the first fleet came to Australia in Botany Bay, where they were still living by this nomadic lifestyle. They maintained culture through storytelling, tribal laws, traditions, symbols, ceremonies, and land and each other and family. And they managed to live in harmony in one of the world's harshest environments through all these thousands of years, through showing mutual respect to each other. Next slide, please. So what I want to talk about now, I want to talk about my personal experiences about why I'm so passionate about respect and how I feel you guys should be able to take respect on to your family and take on what I'm about to say. Because I've had an enlightening experience with the Indigenous people. I grew up in the country. I used to go out to my farm and play in the creek and climb trees, fall out trees as you do as a little kid. And then what I found out that it wasn't until I was a bit older, in 2006, when I was actually given the opportunity to go up to the remote communities and be a part of the leadership camp. I went up to the Bardi people's land at one point, and I really just got embraced in their culture. I went up there, sat around the campfire, made spears, went out, caught magpies, and heard the Dreamtime stories. And this is where I felt, wow, what an amazing culture this is. How can I give my mates back in Perth the opportunity to see what a beautiful culture this is. And that's where we started up the ICEA Foundation, which is all about promoting Indigenous awareness within the community to actually understand and appreciate their culture. So what I've got throughout all the 4 years I've been doing intensive work with Indigenous people, I've found that the way that they maintain culture and they've been able to live in the harshest environment in Australia for 40,000 years is because they've held respect as the be-all and end-all within their culture. Respect is passed on from the elders down to the next generation. When the youth come up to the time of age of around 16, the age that you're right now. And as a 16-year-old, they have earned the respect of the elders. And through earning the respect, the elders show them respect, and through teaching them the stories and the traditions that have been passed down from the ancestors. So this respect that is shown and passed down, I want to convey, we've got so much to learn from the Indigenous people. I then want to talk about a classic story that was told to me that really helped me understand why the Indigenous people feel so passionately about the land. I know in the media you get a lot about the acquisition, the government acquisition of the land that is held by the Bardi and Yulnul people up in One Arm Point, the Tom Price Point. And people talk about, well, why, people come up to me and say, well, it's just land, they're going to get a couple $1 billion for the land, it's pretty cool. But realistically, guys, back in the day, before us whitefellas, Wodgula, came to the land that we're on, when a baby was born, right? In our culture, the baby is passed on to the mother. But in the Indigenous people's culture, the baby, as soon as it comes out of the mother, it is put in the ground and is given birth to the land. So when that happens, when they get given birth to the land is actually their mother as well as the biological mother. So when these Indigenous people see their land getting scarred by all these corporations, it hurts them and saddens them because that's their mother. Imagine if you saw someone hurting your mother or scarring your mother, how upsetting that would be for you. It's the exact same feeling for them. And that's the reason why they have that such strong connection to the land. Next slide. They have the strong connection to land. And so what I've come up with is the concept of respect that I'm trying to pass on is, when you show respect to others, you earn respect. And when you earn respect, you generate self-respect. Self-respect has been a big topic of discussion today. Everyone's talking about either confidence and achieving your best and never holding back through fear. And self-respect is the ultimate thing that you need to achieve whatever you want to achieve. And the way to earn self-respect is through firstly showing respect, earning respect, and that will generate self-respect. So what I've decided to talk about now is the people who have, throughout time, the renowned people who have shown respect to the United Nations. You have people such as Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, and Gandhi. Next slide. Gandhi's famous quote is, the nation's cultures resides in the hearts and the souls of its people. This quote is very fitting to what I'm trying to say, is because, the culture resides in the people. And it all comes from the individual to bring out that culture. And Australia's culture is the Indigenous people. And we need to embrace that in our culture. Next slide. Alright, so firstly, what I'm trying to do is, from today's talk, I want to educate you all about the importance of respect and how important it is. Number one, it's about showing respect. Number two, through showing respect, you earn respect, which will generate self-respect. And Einstein confirmed that national top-down reconciliation strategies do not work. This is stated by the quote that is, you cannot use the same thinking that caused the problem to solve the problem. The people that have caused the problem of the inequality within our society through racism and everything that is in our society has been caused by the government due to the stolen generation and all the forgotten generations that have happened over the last, since the Europeans have invaded this country. Reconciliation needs to start from the bottom up. It needs to start with all you guys at school at a grassroots level. Reconciliating, firstly, and reconciliation starts from home. And your way to reconciliate is showing respect. Show respect to your elders, show respect to your parents, and then show respect to your community, and show respect to your nation and your culture. And once you show respect to the people around you, you will earn respect from them, and they will show you respect. And once you earn that respect, you will develop self-respect. And that's what I'm all going about. And I think once you show respect, you will earn respect, and you will generate self-respect. And I think that's what you need to take away from today. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Lockie. We need a couple of minutes to set up before the next speaker, so if you just bear with us for a couple of minutes.